Hi, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to this end of the week Friday edition of Time Out Overtime on this, the one and only Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm Rick Arsenal. You know the drill. If you haven't done so yet, get down there in the corner, smash that like and subscribe button. Thanks so much. Remember to please tell your friends. Next subscriber to my podcast will be the winner. And if you're already a subscriber, you can tell what you're going to win. I think a lot of people get scared away by the word subscription. I wish we could find another word to use for what you're doing here. I think that word alone scares a lot of people off. I can't think of anything else to describe what it is you're doing, but it simply doesn't cost anything. It's free, folks. You hit the like and subscribe button. It's free. The only advantage is you get notified anytime I'm starting one of these things, so you have the choice of watching it live or at your own leisure later on. Then that's all there is to that. You're not committing to anything other than that. And of course, you're always free to unsubscribe anytime you want. That's entirely up to you, but it's free. Won't cost you 1 red cent. And I try to keep informed on what's going on with the latest comings and goings in regard to sports as it pertains to us. So that's all. That's all there is to it. Nothing too complicated about what we're doing here. No, that's what it is. So, hockey. Nothing. The only thing I have to report on the Steve Yzerman, Dylan Larkin stalemate is the fact that apparently, initially, his agent told him he wanted to be traded to one of 3 teams: Florida, Minnesota, or Las Vegas. Apparently, Dallas has been added to the list. I don't think that helps much. Look, there can be no satisfactory outcome for either side in this stalemate. There just can't be any. And I think what we're learning here is when it comes to doing contracts, when it comes to doing these contracts for the players, there should be, they have a no trade clause, which means they have the right to refuse to go to any team that they choose, but there should be a stipulation or another clause put in there. What am I talking about here? This is where I side with Steve Yzerman. Sure, you'll have a no trade clause in there, okay, which means if a team itself initiates or instigates the trade talk, yes, then you have a right to refuse or choose cherry pick where you want to go. However, if it's the player coming to you, telling you he wants to be traded, the no trade clause becomes null and void. Null and void. He will relinquish his no trade clause if he's the one asking to be traded. I've thought about this. I think that's the only fair way to do this. I'm sure you must agree with me. Okay? Just to be fair. All right? Now, as far as any solution to this, I don't see any. Steve Yzerman, and I can't blame him, he wants equal value. Well, equal value means a current veteran player that is already on the team, not prospects. Equal value. I don't see anything wrong with that. Not prospects. And Yzerman has said he will do whatever is in the best interest of the Detroit Red Wings. He cannot promise that he will be traded. So, how's it going to look like when he hits? He's got the C on the sweater. Keep one thing in mind here. A National Hockey League team does not have to designate a captain. You can play without a captain. You don't need a captain. Okay, with the guy with the C on the sweater. You can have 2 or 3 guys with an A on their sweater, which means uh, assistant captain, and those are the guys that are allowed to talk to the referees and linesmen. This whole thing is with each passing day has become one big nauseating mess. Kachuk, and I was just talking to Rob Weber at the station earlier today. Kachuk was traded last week. He was the captain of the Ottawa Senators. He joined his brother in Florida. He asked to be traded, but it was not made public. If only this hadn't been made public, this would have been a lot easier to negotiate some sort of a deal. Now it's not. And I'm sure Kachuk must have had a no trade clause too. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. Let me know if you agree with me or not. If a player has a no trade clause, he's the one that instigates or initiates a trade. He comes to the team and says, "Get me out of here. I want to be traded." All right, you just voided your no trade clause. That should be written into the contract. Should be written into the contract. As it is now, I don't see any happy ending for either side here. I really don't, and it's sad. It's really sad. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow morning with Harrison James on timeout. By the way, if you don't know, we're doing a remote tomorrow morning on the radio from 9 to 11. Rob Weber will be out at Stocks Park for the Domestic Harmony Ducks Derby. And then he will be sending back to Harrison, and I will be in the studio from 9 to 10. So you won't hear us all the time. Part of the time you hear Rob, and then the other part of the time you'll see Harrison and I back, and you'll hear us back in the studio. But weather looks like a pretty good day. So if you can make it out there to Stocks Park tomorrow morning from 9 to 11 for the Duck Derby, get out there. Say hi to Rob, and there'll be some free donuts out there, I guess, and beverage. It'll be a lot less humid tomorrow, too. So get out there. Get out there, and it's for a good cause. And like I said, Rob will be out there. We'll be back in the studio. Finish Line Family Restaurant, Carlton Road in Hillsdale, the best doggone sit-down restaurant in our area, folks. Nothing comes close. As I adjust my camera here, I want to lose my camera. Okay, nothing comes close. Finish Line Family Restaurant, Carlton Road in Hillsdale. It's just the best doggone sit-down restaurant in our area. It has been for the past 40 years, more than 4 decades, broadly serving our community. And I mean broadly. It's where do you want to start? I have no script. It's testimonial. I'm simply telling you from my experience. Hours of operation, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. Now through Labor Day, they will be open until 8 Thursday and Friday night. Friday night, all you can eat fish. Thursday night, the classic car drive-in theme. Special menus, root beer floats, as well as a regular menu, of course. It's all good. You can register to win if you're dining in Thursday night, you can register to win a gift card. Fast, friendly service, great family atmosphere, award-winning breakfast served all day, a lot of new menu items. It's all good. I've had them all. Reasonably priced. What more can you ask for? Nobody does it better than these guys do. Believe me, they're the best, and have been and will be for many, many years. So, Finish Line Family Restaurant on Carlton Road in Hillsdale. Okay. And I can promise you, when you fuel up from food at the finish line, you will always finish first. And you go up, pay your bill. Like I said, they're very reasonably priced. You pay your bill and you walk out that door, head of your car, you're going to feel full. You have a big smile on your face for good reason. All right? I'll see you there. Better see you there. We're also brought to you in part. I've got too many papers on the desk here today. I'm sorry about that. I'm shuffling papers here. We're also brought to you in part by Barron Insurance. In Jonesville, seniors, have you got your playbook ready for Medicare? Don't let healthcare costs bench you. We're calling an audible with Joe Roon at Barron Insurance to help you navigate Medicare and health insurance. So whether you're aging into Medicare, you're in a special enrollment period, or you're losing other coverage, Joe's got the stats and the know-how to help you score the best coverage for your needs. Plus, you get a game plan for retirement healthcare costs. Now, what about businesses? Businesses, don't get sacked. Joe's got group health coverage options for you too. Give Joe a call at 517-849-1000 or check him out at www.barrettins.com. That's all one word, 2 R's and 2 T's, barrettins.com. You'll find him on the corner. You'll find him on the corner of US 12 and M99. Pardon me, in downtown Jonesville. Joe Bruder Insurance, protecting your dreams, 517-849-1000. Again, that's barrettins.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. And of course, Quality PC, 37 Walter Street in downtown Hillsdale, 517-610-5372. The only place around here to go for tech service. Nothing else comes close. Tech services, it's all lumped together. Quality PC and tech service, one and the same. Okay, whatever. I mean, computers, newer used, flat screen TV, mounting, programming, setup. Maybe you're changing internet providers. You need that installed. Computer printers, newer used, anything at all. Just get in there. Tim Lindley and his staff in there are more than capable of resolving any tech issues you may have. We are so thankful to have them among us right here in our area. Okay, 37 Waldo Street, downtown Hillsdale, 517-610-5372. Get in there and see them. Quality PC. Tell them Rick and Mickey sent you. Thank you very much. Tigers. Question: who has the best team in the American League since June the 1st? I'm sorry, the best record in the American League since June the 1st. That is your Detroit Tigers, with a record of 20 and 12. Yeah, since 2012. Tigers were on June the 1st, the Tigers were 23 and 38. They were 15 games under 500. So here we are on June the 10th. They are 43 and 50. 43 and 50. Just 7 games under 500. They've knocked 8 games off of that. At one point, they were 16 under. June the 1st, they were 15 under. Best record in the American League since June the 1st. Not only that, they've hit more home runs. The Detroit Tigers, this is crazy. Absolutely insane. Since June the 1st, the Tigers have hit more home runs in Major League Baseball than any of the other 29 teams. They have hit more home runs than any other team in Major League Baseball since June the 1st, 57. That's nuts. That's crazy. Since June the 1st, they've got the best run differential record in the American League. They've got the best team ERA in the American League. Folks, this is nuts. This is crazy. This is, well, you go back 2 years ago, they had that, 31 and 11 run in August and into September that got them, they got the playoffs that year. As we sit right now, they get ready to take on the Phillies for a 3-game series at Comerica before the All-Star game. As it sits right now, they're 4.5 games out of first place. They're 43 and 50. They're still 7 games under 500. Just 4.5 games out of first place. Why? Well, because the White Sox and Guardians, who are tied for first in the AL Central, are only 2 games over. And the Minnesota Twins, who are in third place, just 2 games back, are 2 games under. So if you look at the American League Central right now, you've got the White Sox and Guardians tied. Twins in third, 2 games back, and the Tigers right behind them, 4.5 back. To me, though, you can't really talk about division titles or playoffs unless you're a 500 team. We'll see what they do against the Phillies. Phillies are a good team. They come in 10 games over. 3 games behind the Braves in the National League East. In fact, they're tied for second with the very surprising Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins. It looks like to me, folks, like the Miami Marlins are going to make the playoffs this year. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? And what an emotional moment last night. If you haven't heard, yesterday afternoon about this time, the Tigers finally, I don't know what took so long, they finally designated Jahmai Jones for assignment. And his replacement, brought up from Delito, catcher Eduardo Valencia. Young man is 26. He's battled some injuries. I think he had Tommy John surgery. He's still only 26. Of course, that's past the age of being a prospect. Called up in a pinch hitting role last night in the 7th inning, his first major league at bat. Hits a home run, 425 feet to the deepest part of the ballpark. What an emotional moment that was to see him round the bases, see the reaction of the guys in the dugout, and seeing and watching him interviewed by Daniela Bruce after the game. Got very emotional, crying. I'm not an emotional guy, but I think even I was tearing up watching that. Then a Venezuelan, of course, given the recent problems they've had down there with the earthquakes and such. A very touching, emotional moment last night. Became the 10th Tiger ever to hit a home run in his first major league at bat. I'm not going to tell you who the other 9 are. You wouldn't recognize any of these games or any of these names, rather. The most recent to do it was Akil Baddoo, I believe in 2021, was it? Yeah. Who eventually became Akil Baddoo, but that's the most recent. But former Tiger bench coach for Jim Leyland, if you remember the name Gene Lamont, he did it in 1970. You wouldn't recognize any of these. Oh, Gates Brown. Gates Brown was another one you may, if you're a Tiger old timer, that's a name you might remember, recognize. But most of these names you couldn't. But anyway, became the 10th Tiger last night. They hit a home run in his first major league at bat. Just an emotional moment. And if you haven't heard it, I think maybe you can get it up on YouTube. Dan Dickerson's call on the radio last night. Jason Benitez was good too on the TV side of it. But I think Dan did a good job on that call last night. But so anyway, Tigers 8-1 now. 8-1 in their last 9. Jake Rogers, home runs his last 2 games. Sitting in for Dylan Dingler. Pardon me, Dingler, if you haven't heard, is day-to-day with that bruise on his hand, taking a foul ball off a bat the other night. Good news is, he's going to be fine. He won't be out that long. If he doesn't play in this series, at least we know we'll have him back after the All-Star game, and hopefully he's able to play in the All-Star game. Well, let me sneak in these pitching matchups here for this Phillies series. Getting late. I've been on too long now anyway. But tonight, Jack Flaherty goes for the Tigers against Aaron Nola of the Phillies. Nola's had a bit of a rough time. He's 3-6 with a 5.87 earned run average. I think the Tigers are slight favorites tonight. It's the next 2 games that going to be tough. Mize pitching for the Tigers. He's had a good year. ERA 2.64, but he's going up against tomorrow night, going up against left-hander Christopher Sanchez. Sanchez is already 10-4 with an ERA of 2.62. He's in the running for the National League Cy Young, along with some other guy who pitches Sunday by the name of Zach Wheeler. Yeah, he's 9-1, 2.2 ain't going up against Turing School. Either one of these guys, Christopher Sanchez or Zach Wheeler, could win the National League Cy Young this year. Okay. At one time, the Phillies were 8 or 9 games under. Well, right now they're 52-42. Looking ahead, and we'll do this more on Monday during the All-Star break. We're going to look at the Tigers' schedule for the rest of the month. I think that's advantageous. So we'll see what happens. So you look at it this way: the Tigers are kind of playing with house money right now. Even if they go 1-2 in this series, it's still a 4-2 homestand. Okay. They're slight favorites tonight, but tomorrow night, Sunday, very tough, very, very tough. So that's going to do it. Like I said, join us if you will, please, tomorrow morning from 9 to 10 locally here on WCSR 92.1 FM with Harrison James. We'll be in the studio. Rob Weber will be out at Stocks Park with the Domestic Harmony Duck Derby. We'll be going back and forth for an hour or so, but we don't mind. It's for a good cause. Okay. Anyway, interesting radio. Give us a listen if you would, please. We appreciate it. So that's going to do it then until Monday. Bid you all a very pleasant, good weekend. If you can, get out to Stocks Park for that Duck Derby tomorrow, Domestic Harmony. If you can't, give us a listen from 9 to 10 on WCSR, if you would, please. So, have yourselves a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Remember to please treat each other with respect. So I'll simply say until Monday, thank you and so long, everybody. Bye-bye.